everyone, this is Tara Furiani.
And I'm Justin Boggs.
And you're hanging out with Not the HR Lady,
a web series about all things people.
No BS. Look, HR is not a four-letter word.
And this is not the HR Lady.
I have to dance.
We've got to do something.
I have to dance because I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to record this show.
Up.
I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do it.
I know, but we got to. I mean, people look for us. Like, they look to us for answers.
I know. Like, a lot of people have been commenting and being like, how do you have so much enthusiasm? And I'm like, one...
Coffee.
Coffee. Two, wine. And you just don't know me. I'm like naturally this way. And I'm a glass half full kind of person. But I mean, it's taking its toll on me, you know?
I think it's definitely taken its toll on me too. I've been writing a lot more lately, and that's what I do usually when I get into like these frame of minds.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other people are feeling the same way.
I've been eating a lot of Nutella, which is I think what also other people do in these kind of situations. Holla.
It's delicious.
It is really good. Like, I didn't want to get out of bed so much that I still have this hair tie on my wrist, and I just realized that I didn't take it off before we... That's how uninterested I was in getting it ready. I just shouldn't have. Fuck it,
right?
I just shouldn't have. So there's been a lot that's kind of going on in the world, and it's a really scary day, you know?
Yes.
And it's not an April Fool's joke.
It's not an April Fool's joke. Things are getting worse. People aren't taking this as seriously as they should.
Like, what people? If you are friends or connected to me in any way, in any social media, fucking delete me. If you're the people we're talking about who are not taking this serious, stay the fuck home.
If you're having parties and
stay home.
You know, taking trips to Mexico and all that.
I don't see anybody
stop,
on my
please.
that I know doing those things.
Yeah.
So I don't know who these people are, but fuck you, okay?
I know.
What the hell?
We just heard the other day that, you know, there was a party, I guess. This was in New Jersey, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Like where it was basically turned into a block party at these people's house in their front yard. That's how they were trying to be like, well, we shouldn't get in trouble for this. And it's like, well, there's 40 or 50 people in your front yard.
Okay,
You're not standing 6 feet away.
So when we were playing music outside the other day, and you can see those videos if you want to on our Facebook page, our neighborhood came out, but people were like really aware, like stood in their driveways, stood distant,
walking down the sidewalk.
We had a conversation with somebody. We had to like holler at them to get them to hear us, and like you can do that stuff. It's not like you can't see people, but stay away. You can't congregate.
Yeah, it's not the time to bring out the punch bowls and the finger sandwiches.
No, it's not. That makes me nervous. Like I don't know. Tell us the update, because there's so much going on. I don't want to derail the conversation.
So there has been some updates with the stimulus bill that was passed.
Ooh.
If you have not filed for taxes for 2019, the Treasury is going to develop an online portal to help you provide them with your bank information.
When will that be ready?
Hopefully within 3 weeks.
That's what they're saying. 3 weeks.
So 3 weeks is the timeline for when they expect to start sending those checks out.
Those checks are those direct. So wait. So
the direct deposits.
Are they not sending paper checks then?
I haven't read anything on that yet. They're trying to get everybody to at least file that.
Okay.
That way they can just direct deposit immediately.
There's
You're not going to have to send them.
a lot of people that don't have bank accounts.
You're not going to have to send them any information.
Okay.
That's why they want you to fill out this tax form. They're going to do all of that for you, and then they're just going to give you a check.
I don't believe it. That's what they're saying?
What do you mean? You don't trust our government?
I'm just saying I don't trust that. If they're just like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be
we're
magic.
Just going to take
fine.
care of this for you.
I'm not trying to get political, but like, no, I don't. I mean, I don't. You know, that we've seen failure after failure after failure.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to technology. So I guess that makes me a little nervous. I guess I'll check back here in 3 weeks and we'll be providing an update whether anybody got a stimulus check or not.
I'm going to do some more research on that portal that they want to develop and see
They haven't even developed it yet?
No, but to see if there is something where if you don't have a bank account, will maybe just the address that you give them.
They should just partner with one of those cards or something.
Probably something like that. But on a tax form, you fill out your address. So if anything, they'll probably just send it to that address.
Yeah.
And again, we're looking at about 3 weeks before they start sending any money out to anybody.
So at a minimum, like if best perfect case scenario would be you filed your 2019 taxes and you've had a direct deposit on file, probably at least the same one for a couple of years, so they know that it's good.
Yeah.
That's like who's going to get them first, it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. So good on you if you've done those things. If you haven't, we don't know when.
Now, we have been getting a lot of questions about this, so I wanted to speak about this directly.
Okay.
People who do not typically file taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Will need to file a simple tax return.
Yeah.
So that's low-income taxpayers, senior citizens, Social Security recipients, some veterans, and individuals with disabilities. When you do file that simple tax return, you will not be taxed.
But then they have your information on file.
That way they have your information on file. They know what to qualify you for.
Yeah.
Is what they need that information for.
Even senior citizens? Do they not already have that? Even senior citizens. Who's reporting that?
The Treasury.
Oh. Okay.
So get that information. You get a check, hopefully within 3 weeks.
Crossing fingers.
3 weeks from now. Yeah.
I wanted to clarify that I wasn't sure, but we did confirm that seniors who receive Social Security benefits will receive a stimulus check as long as they fall within, and I believe most seniors fall under the 75,000.
Yeah, I think they will.
I think they will. I know my mom does. I know she does. So there's that. I mean, everybody's going to get it, which goes to my point before. I mean, whether people needed it or not. I'm not suggesting, don't beat me up, that our seniors don't. I think they deserve far more than we give them as a country. But I'm not going to derail the conversation on that tangent today. Anyway.
I agree. I feel like that's another topic we can get into. And
I'm happy they're getting it. I guess I still just go back to what about the people who've actually had their wages affected?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. It's what was passed, and I'm not out there. So what do you do?
So if you don't know how to file and you're in one of these groups, www.irs.gov/coronavirus.
Well, that's pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, easy. They will help navigate how you file for the simple tax return.
Yeah, help your parents, guys. Help your grandparents.
Yeah, help them out. Like everybody's going to need some help here.
Yeah.
So reach out to everyone and make sure they get the help that they need. So these payments will also be available for the rest of 2020 if you need help with a tax professional.
Okay.
So if you did not file and it's past the deadline and you consult a tax professional and you finally get all of that taken care of, you will still get a stimulus check after that.
If you meet the criteria.
If you meet the criteria.
If you hadn't filed in 18 or 19, is that what you're saying? Okay. Gotcha.
So at least they're doing that. It's not like, all right, this is the deadline.
Yeah.
You know, it'll basically be like a reimbursement, I guess, or a rebate.
Okay. Well.
But at least they're extending it to the end. And all of this information, like key information, that has to do with the stimulus bill, again, is at the irs.gov/coronavirus.
Okay.
So go there, find the information. Sounds like a lot of fun stuff is going to be there. A lot of reading.
Yay.
Right?
I love
that's
reading
what everybody wants to do right now.
Don't we all? Just read legislature?
Just read it. I want to dig my face
into
the computer.
I do want to do that. That is what I want to do. My face is in a computer. I feel like 24 hours a day right now. I can't look away from it. And I think, and I want to talk about this because we are a couple. We are engaged. We cohabitate. We're essentially married, if you will.
Yeah.
And we are both working from home at this time from the standpoint of recording this podcast. You record music. I do consulting. Like, there's things that we are doing and we're busy during the day. And we're lucky in the sense that in the entirety of our relationship, it's kind of been like that. We've always kind of cohabitated in that sort of space. But I know from a lot of, venting phone calls with girlfriends and honestly, not just girlfriends, like friends. Like I should I should not genderize it. I'm not trying to, but from friends and who are like, I don't know what to do. Like I can't stand
I'm pulling my hair out over here.
And I'm not going to act like it's been perfect for us either. I mean, we're in a house full of, we have 7 children. We've mentioned that before. I think everybody knows that. We have 2 elderlies. My mom, when my dad passed away, moved in with me. She tried living alone for 6 months. She wasn't having it. They were married for almost 50 years. So like she needed to be with people. So she moved in, and then my aunt was my grandmother's caretaker. And then when my grandmother passed away at 98, my aunt moved in with us because she'd never been alone either. And frankly, her Social Security couldn't support her living wage. I mean, she couldn't live on the Social Security she was making without my grandmother's on top of it. Yeah. And she doesn't get survivor benefits because they weren't spouses, even though she was her caretaker for 65 years. So they don't get anything like that.
And to me, that's crazy. Like, how does something like that fall through the loop?
I don't know.
Right? Like you
There's
care
a lot
for somebody
of
for
kinds
65
of relationships.
years.
Yeah.
How old was she when she died?
98.
Jesus.
My aunt my aunt lived with her the entirety of my aunt's life. She has never left home. My grandmother and my grandfather divorced when my aunt was still like a teen or like a early adolescent. And so as soon as my aunt graduated from high school, she got a job immediately. And it was her and my grandmother. The other kids had moved out. She's the youngest, but youngest by 10 years. And so everybody else had moved out. And it was just her and my grandmother. And so when she passed away, my aunt was 66. So for 66 years, they lived together, literally. And my aunt was the provider, right. For the adult years of her life with her. And she doesn't get any survivor. It sucks. There's a lot of different kinds of relationships. But look, we're not even willing right now as a country in a lot of ways to recognize that boys can like boys and girls can like girls and we can be married. So like, I don't think we'll ever get to a place where it's like, oh, wow, you care for your mother who cared for you your whole life? Cool. No, we don't consider that a partnership at all. Well, no. Fuck you very much. But this is not even what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about working from home with a spouse. Mm-hmm. And we're in a really interesting situation. It's my family. So I don't know what that probably does to you. I mean, you love everybody. Everybody loves you. But it's a really unique position to be in a place where it's like my mom and my aunt, who are both elderly, my 7 kids, and me, and then you, and we're stuck here. Like, we're just stuck. We can't go away. We can't go out to dinner. You can't go hang out with friends. Like, not that we ever do that separately, but like...
I think it helps that, like, we have a lot of fun together. We
do have a good
time. We do art projects. We paint the sunset, and we have our kid breaks, where they're painting on us, and we're having food competitions, and we have a lot of things that keep us together and keep us excited. Yeah. Right? About seeing each other and about being stuck together. I think that's what helps get through all of this, is that we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. I think another thing that is helpful is the communication.
Absolutely.
And we're really blunt with each other, and we have been since the very beginning, because when you have 7 kids, you kind of got to be just pretty straightforward with how it's going to go down. And I think, we regularly check in with each other. Like, literally say to each other, like, I want to check in with you because I feel like we're going sideways. And how
are you feeling?
Yeah,
that's the check-in. We want to know.
Right. And I want to be candid. Like, earlier today, I had a moment and I was like, are we good? Because I'm feeling like you're kind of being distant and like whatever. And I'm just being me. Yeah. And you're like, no, I was researching stuff for the show. And then you clarified. Yeah. But sometimes perception is reality, even if that reality is crazy. And yours, you do the same. It's not just me that feels this way. You often feel this, like you feel this way too.
Right. I mean, but I think that communication, that line of communication is what allows us to keep that movement
and to move past
forward.
it. Yeah. And to get through it.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like
it's
not easy being cooped up together, but I think everybody's feeling like that, right? Your spouse is feeling it. You're feeling it.
Yeah.
Your kids are feeling it.
What? This is basically going into 3 weeks now of self-quarantine for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's starting to get real crazy out there for a lot of people.
One of the things that we have missed doing is date night.
Yeah.
Like we go on dates a lot. You know, you woo me all the time. I think I try to equally woo you, but you woo me all the time.
You do.
And our kids have sensed that we've been cooped up and we haven't had a date night, and maybe we've just been a little grouchier than normal. So they wanted to throw us a date night. Check it out.
That menu was adorable.
I mean, oh my gosh, you guys. They're going to watch this. They love to watch the show. They're all sporting our merch.
I think they're our biggest fans.
They really are. They're so proud of us. They're like, I can tell it's mommy because of the shoes. I'm like, yeah, those are my kids.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. Here. With the heels on there. Yeah. It was literally what Vinny said on the way out, right?
Yeah.
I just, that was really special.
It really was.
And what's crazy is it was totally their idea. Like, it was literally not our idea at all. And they made a menu and they cooked for us, and it wasn't bad. We helped.
They were charging $5 for
$5.
Steak. We have to have a serious sit down and talk with them about the cost of goods.
Understand their worth.
Yeah, yeah. Because we literally asked them, hey, if this steak is $10, what are you going to charge for it? $5.
I mean, they're generous, right? You got to give them that. It's that servant heart.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my goodness.
It was really sweet, and it was really nice. That they thought of that.
It was a nice break from like just the monotony.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been thinking a lot about, and you know how my mind works, it's super crazy all the time, about how much this is going to change work. And I mentioned that last week on the Talent Tarot, that we're going to have to embrace the reality that virtual work is a thing. It's here. We've got to love it.
The time is now.
We've got to figure out places that are ahead of the curve.
Yeah. That
are doing things that are interesting, that have created, you know, an ecosphere, if you really want to call it that. I do, because that's really what it ends up being. It's so much more than just a website. It's so much more than just, you're logging into some kind of portal. This is a place where you can go and be connected with your employees, in a really interesting and meaningful way, while solving for all of your, employee needs. And I think a lot of companies these days just aren't. A lot of companies these days are realizing those things, have realized those things, but there's a few. One of them is one of our friends, Vibe, who kind of got the social interaction part of the working environment and how to engage people digitally and why that's so important. And I think out of all of the HCM or HRIS platforms out there, they've been doing it right and interesting for a good while now. Yeah.
And we're not just saying that because they sponsored this episode.
We are not just saying that. I have actually been a very passionate supporter of Vibe ever since I met them. It was completely random at the HR Tech Conference in 2018 in Las Vegas. at the Palazzo. I met them there. I loved their product. Everything they were doing was some of the weird stuff I'd been having in my head that I thought, why can't you have communities? Why can't you have, a more, this is what our company looks like, and make it a more interactive portal or ecosphere, part of your culture than a traditional HCM has been previously. Like, people are invested and engaged in themselves, and they want to be. That's more in demand every single day. And as we talked on the last episode, having things and the ability to be virtual is going to be pivotal in the new world.
Yeah,
sounds crazy to say that, but like that's the reality.
That's the reality. Well, let's take a look at what these experts are doing.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Your role as an HR leader is constantly changing. Today's employees are tech savvy and place a high degree of importance on relationships inside and outside of the organization. Millennials, in particular, are team-oriented and enjoy making social connections and friends at work. They gravitate toward organizations with missions and cultures they can feel proud of. Your job as a modern HR leader is to engage this talent, help them realize their full potential, and maximize their contribution to your organization. Oh, and you have to do this while you recruit, onboard, manage, and pay your employees in an increasingly compliance-driven world. So, how do you do that? Easier said than done. HR leaders are forced to look beyond traditional, old-school HR technology to find tools that support their engagement strategies. Rewards and recognition software, engagement surveys, employee wellness, content management, and social networking applications, to name a few. And all of this while managing traditional HR activities. Trying to juggle a variety of point solutions in silos can get ugly fast. Without the right tools and approach, employee adoption suffers, and it's impossible to get a full view of employee sentiment within your organization. That's why we developed Vibe HCM, the only end-to-end HCM engagement platform designed for today's workforce. Vibe gives you everything you need to kickstart employee engagement while taking care of the day-to-day demands of HR transactions and compliance. And best of all, Vibe is one easy-to-deploy, integrated package that draws best practices from hundreds of thousands of employees already using the system. Oh, and did we mention that Vibe HCM leverages progressive web application technology? So regardless of device, your employees have full functionality, anytime, anywhere. No need to download apps or compromise when you're away from your desk. Delight your employees and go beyond transactions with Vibe HCM, the all-in-one platform that powers your engagement strategies while delivering the full scope of traditional HR activities.
I am just always impressed with them. You know, like from the first moment that I met them to getting to know their CEO, Suzanne, I've just always been impressed. They've been on the cutting edge, in my opinion, of the social kind of engagement that's necessary in times of social distancing, even though we're not socially distant. Can we stop saying that? We're physically distant. We are socially connected more than ever. So like, I would not describe what's happening right now as socially distant. In fact, we probably all need to get the fuck off our phones. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get off the internet a little bit. Go outside. Agree. We need some vitamin D.
I definitely need some sun.
Yeah, me too. Speaking of social media and being inside and staring at your phone.
If you're not already following us, please follow us, like us, and subscribe at Not the HR Lady. And lots of people are asking us questions because they're suddenly and foreseeably laid off. So
yeah,
please
contact
us. Give us any questions. You might be on the next episode.
Yeah, because we have a few questions from viewers right now. So let's say you're looking for a job. You have been laid off. You've been furloughed. What do you do when you're suddenly back in the job market unexpectedly? Along with 5 million other of your closest friends. We have answers for you from the fucking awesome, giving you the tea, blue-haired, all things hiring, Madison Butler. Check it out.
Hello. Okay, so this is take number 4002. My name is Madison Butler. Most people know me as the blue-haired recruiter. And life is weird right now. So I'm here to answer some of the questions that y'all have had about what it's like to find a job right now. And so the first question was, what happens if you've never had LinkedIn, like ever, in the history of LinkedIn? How do you do it? You just do it. I used to hate LinkedIn. I used to think it was a really silly form of social media. I wanted to just like scroll through Instagram and blah. And so I haven't always been good at it. And so when I realized the value of LinkedIn, I'm like, I have a mishap in curl. I just had to force myself. Like it started with 1 post a week, and then 2 posts a week, and then 3 posts, and then it was connect with 10 people here, connect with 10 people there. That's what LinkedIn is about. It's about connection. And so I challenge you to do the same thing. Get on LinkedIn, write a post, put yourself out there. Streams of consciousness are completely okay. Think of it as Twitter. And there are dogs barking because I'm outside and I live in the burbs. And so when you think about what you want to post, I don't want you to think too much. I want you to just post. Don't think about, do people like this? People don't need to like this. It's your page. It's your post. Sometimes I post, I'm like, ooh, everyone's going to hate this. And you know what I do? I hit post anyway. And then I want you to connect with 10 people a day, maybe in your industry, maybe not in your industry. The cool thing about LinkedIn is you never know who might know someone who knows someone. 60% of people's new jobs come from their network, which is pretty freaking cool. And then the other thing I want you to do is I want you to start following some hashtags of things you like. And if you don't know what a hashtag is, it's the number sign plus a word that like gets you really jazzed. So like hashtag air conditioners because it's hot. Hashtag diversity and inclusion. Hashtag whatever. I found a lot of really good voices in the HR industry and diversity and inclusion industry that way, and the more you interact with them, eventually someone's going to interact with you. And that's what a lot of LinkedIn is commenting on other people's posts. Again, putting yourself out there. Question number 2. How do you appeal to a company that's younger when you're not a millennial? And my answer is kind of the same. Just show up. Just be exactly who you are. We are not put on earth to make other people like us. And I know that is like the opposite of what corporate America would like us to believe. But the right company is not going to give a crap about how old you are. I know we talk a lot about culture fit, and culture fit is a lot of BS. That's my nice way of saying it. We talk so much about diversity and inclusion. We shouldn't be looking for people to fit. We should be looking for people to add value. I don't want you to come with a space that wasn't made for me. I don't want to fit into a space. I want you to let me take space. And those are 2 very different things. I don't want people to think too hard about making themselves look younger or like doing cool stuff. Like, don't do that. Just be exactly who you are. The things that like good organizations care about is like, are you a good person? Do you add value? How are you going to interact with my team? Are you not hoarding tigers in your backyard? Those are like the important stuff that we're thinking about right now. So don't think too hard about the age thing. Millennials are not that scary. I'm not that scary, I promise. Last question. Are cover letters still a thing? I'll go with how I feel about them, and then the next part. I loathe cover letters. I loathe them. 2 reasons why. Most people copy and paste the same cover letter over and over and over and over and over. They just like swap companies, swap names. That's why sometimes I get ones that say Mr. Butler. Preferred pronouns? She, her. Thank you. Second reason is it's not really a good indicator of anything. You might write a terrible cover letter and be an awesome person who adds tons of value to my organization. Or you may have gotten a very well-worded template off of Etsy, but you're an asshole. I have a no assholes policy. So cover letters aren't really a good indicator of anything to me, except that you can either write very well, which kudos to you, same English degree, or you're really good at buying templates off Etsy. But on the flip side, like if you're not a good writer and that's like not your jam, I'm not going to hold that against you. Like we're not all supposed to be like great writers. That's not, unless you're applying for a copy job, then that's a different story. So that's my take on cover letters. There will be 100% companies that always ask for them because a lot of companies are kind of stuck in the past. But I think as we continue forward, I really think traditional resumes, traditional cover letters are going to be a thing of the past, especially with everything being so digital. I would assume we'll see more of things like this, videos, faces, personalities. Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of companies are going to start caring about people who match their value set and match their mission. And again, that value add, like what value do you add to this organization? And so those are all the questions I had. That was a really odd, quick transition, which is who I am as a person. And so I guess from a tip perspective, the only thing I can say is whether you're optimistic or you're scared or you're sad, I want you to own all of it and feel all of your feelings. Don't feel like you have to get caught up in this like good vibes only thing that like the world is perpetuating. You don't have to be happy all the time. We're stuck in our houses. Well, I'm also on my porch, but like it is okay to like not be super jazzed about that. I miss the gym, I miss snacks, I miss crab rangoon, and that's okay. I think the world has really convinced us that in order to be successful, we have to be happy all the time. And I want you to know it's okay to be human and like feel all of the stuff that you're feeling. It's cool. Like talk about it with your friends, your family. Like that is what's keeping all of us sane right now, is the ability to connect. And whether it's connecting with your friends, connecting with the people who deliver alcohol, the wine delivery people, our internet connection, all of that is what's keeping us sane. Just the ability to connect with other people who understand what we're going through. So don't feel like the rest of the world is also optimistic. And if they are, it's probably a little forced. It's okay to be scared and upset and be sad that you're missing out on things you had tickets to or trips you had planned. Like, it's okay. I think that the way we get through this is together, and that's probably the most important thing. So again, why I think LinkedIn is a great tool. It's all about the ability to connect, and you never know who you might meet. Maybe you'll meet me.
I think she's just great.
She's awesome. I just love her no bullshit attitude. Yeah. Like I subscribe to that in a hard way.
Like she's gonna tell you.
That's actually how her and I connected. You know, it was like, I really love what you're posting out there. I wish I had the courage to be as bold as you. And you know what? Frankly, I have it now. I have been empowered, certainly not by Madison, but inspired by that boldness that I'm seeing. Because you know what? Let's just cut the bullshit.
Yeah, nobody's got time for that
Nobody
anymore.
has time for that anymore. Nobody has any time at all.
I agree.
So we've been getting a lot of questions because today is April 1st.
Yeah, a lot of eviction questions.
Yes, because rent is due.
Yeah.
It's like that Bone Thug song. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
And it's a choice of, paying rent or feeding your kids or getting your meds. And
yeah. So the question that was asked on Facebook asks us, what states are providing relief for eviction, if any? And I have a list for you guys. As of today, when we're doing this, which is the morning of April 1st, we have Arizona, California, D.C., Delaware, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and Washington.
Good.
Which is a good number. Well, it's a good number of states.
Yeah.
But it's not,
it's not all of them.
It's not all of them.
Like, I saw a meme the other day where it's like a task force coming in, like about to like bust through a door.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, rent and bills and all of this, and on the inside of the door there was a Cheeto as the lock.
For the
like holding everything.
I saw a great one that had, the people are complaining about how $1,200 isn't enough to sustain them, and yet that amount is actually below the federal minimum wage.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a lot of changes. I hope there'll be a lot of changes that come out of this, because guess what? As Chris Cuomo said so eloquently, and we posted it, if you haven't seen it on our site, they work for us, people. Yeah. So like, we need to make changes to our workforce, and this is the time. The time is now to shift those changes and to demand action. There are provisions with all of the eviction moratoriums that we just mentioned. Please go to our website to learn more. If I didn't mention your state, there may be some minor provisions in certain counties, certain large cities. So go to www.notthehrlady.com/evictions for more information. I didn't want to get out of bed today.
I didn't either.
I feel like
gonna eat some bananas and Nutella and strawberries.
I can't stop eating bananas and Nutella and strawberries. And I feel like everybody is in the same boat, right? I think we're all struggling. We're all going through, how this looks at the end of this. And every day it's like just more and more grim. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to grapple with. And I'll be honest, it's hard for me to grapple. I'm having this is what a low mental health day looks like for me. I feel like I'm not alone in this kind of feeling, this kind of deep and dark and twisty.
From the comments and messages that we've gotten.
Yeah.
I think we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And we need to pull through this together.
Yeah. I think the best thing we can do right now for each other is to literally just stay home. Non-essential trips don't have any business happening right now. Please take this seriously. Have low mental health days. Take a moment. Don't get dressed if you don't want to. Don't be happy.
Stay in them jammies.
Absolutely. Don't brush your teeth. Fuck it. But don't stay there. Like, don't stay in that space.
Yeah.
Because that is how you start talking about crazy things. And we can't let this defeat us or define us.
Yeah.
So have your moments and pick yourself up. I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to go cook dinner.
And call somebody.
Call somebody.
Call a friend. Call that friend you haven't talked to in a long time.
Text them. They want to talk.
Yeah. Everybody is
make
lonely
a video.
Right now. Yeah, make a video and send it to
make
them.
a video to us. Talk to us. We'll talk to you.
We will talk to you.
We actually have a chat
Absolutely.
feature on our website. Visit www.notthehrlady.com.
And you can find some cool merch too.
Yeah, you can. That's true. So join us tomorrow. We are going to have another 15-minute kid break, and I'm going to pick myself up, and we are going to do this. Remember those boring meetings we all used to complain about that we're not doing anymore, that we all secretly miss? We're going to talk about that and how to cope.
That's awesome.
I'm Tara Furiati.
I can't wait for it. I'm Justin Boggs, and this is Not the HR Lady.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Not the HR Lady.
Engage with us on any social platform at Not the HR Lady and visit our website for more people stuff at notthehrlady.com.
New episodes are out every Wednesday and Friday. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.